Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about measuring sig figs, graduated readouts, and digital readouts. We'll do the digital a little later. This is a graduated readout of a ruler. It's marked all the way to the tenths of a centimeter, and so that means we'd estimate the hundredths place. And so you can see that the sticky note that we have there is somewhere between 7.6 and 7.7. Just shy of 7.7, so we'll call it 7.68 centimeters. Okay, this is a 10 milliliter graduated cylinder containing water. And when you read a graduated cylinder, you still have markings or graduations you have to read. And you're going to interpret the markings in the same way. This graduated cylinder is marked to the tenths of a milliliter, so I'm going to estimate the hundredths place. And if you look at the markings, you can see that that little curvature called the meniscus is where you're going to read. You're going to read from the bottom of that meniscus, and the bottom of that meniscus is pretty much right at 8 milliliters. And so I would say 8.0, we know for sure. I think it's ever so slightly above that. So if you want to estimate the hundredths place, maybe call it 8.01. And then that would be a proper reading of the graduated cylinder. But you have to do so from the bottom of the meniscus and be level with the meniscus. And see, I have the camera level with where that meniscus is. And if we zoom just a little bit, you can see it just a little bit better, right at 8 milliliters. Okay, let's say we want to measure something on the balance. It's going to give us the mass in grams, but it's a digital readout and not a graduated readout like before. So we're going to need to account for that. And what we have to do, make sure it reads 0, and so there's a button here called tare. Tare just zeroes out the balance. Make sure we're on 0, and I'm going to measure the mass of this beaker. We're going to open the door, we're going to set the beaker inside, and then we're going to close the door so that air currents don't impact the balance at all. We're going to wait for that mass to settle out. And then you can record it by looking at the display. In this case, 62.689 grams. Now the error is in that last place. And if you read the manual for the particular balance you're working on, that is in fact the digit in which there's some error. But you always want to write down every digit that the balance displays and not cut any off. It's always read every single digit off the display. If you're needing to account for the error, you need to look at the manual and see what the error in that last place is.